right, let's take a quick look at part B. I'm not going to write it. We're going to look at the canonical solution again. But remember, in this one, you're receiving the array list of delimiters that was created in part A, and you're returning a Boolean value informing whether that array list of delimiters is balanced or not. And remember, a balanced one has the same number of open delimiters as it does closed delimiters. For every open delimiter, there's a matching closed delimiter somewhere. So it's a simple matter of counting how many delimiters there are. And the whole reason I wanted to go over it is I do want, again, to look at what would a traditional for loop look like versus a for each or enhanced for loop. So here's the canonical solution. They're going to count the number of open delimiters in this array list called delimiters, and they're going to count the number of closed delimiters. If they're the same number, if they're equal to each other, then it's a balanced list. If not, it is not. So here they use the enhanced for loop to run through that array list. Remember what an enhanced for loop does. It says, in this array list called delimiters, pull out every string object and call it str. So now when I refer to str.something, that refers to the actual string object that's been pulled out, and they're going to be pulled out sequentially because an enhanced for loop goes from the beginning of the array list to the end. So if str.equals open delimiter, we're going to increment the open count, then we're going to increment the close count. If close count is greater than open count, return false. Otherwise, if open count and close count are equal, we're going to return false. Otherwise, return false. Now, what would this look like if in a traditional for loop? So in a traditional for loop, I need to traverse through the entire array list. So I need to create for int I equals 0, I less than delimiters, and I'm going to abbreviate that well, I'll move it over, delimiters dot size. Remember, in an array list, there's a size method that will tell you how many elements there are in there, I++. But now I need to extract each object that's in there, so you need to use a get method. So I would have to use if delimiters dot get I. So I need to use the get method, but tell them which position I want to get from. And it's going to start at 0 and go all the way to the end. Then I can do the dot equals, and then the rest of it, string dot str dot equals, it has to be replaced with delimiters dot get at position I. And then the rest of it would essentially be the same, because all we're doing is counting the number of open delimiters versus the number of closed delimiters. So very briefly, let's look at the array list methods that we need to remember. Remember, for an array list of integers, I have to use, or doubles or booleans, I have to use the wrapper class, because those are primitive data types, and array lists can only hold objects. So using the wrapper class takes the primitive data type and converts it to an object. I'm trying to plug my computer in here so I can retain power. Okay, so let's say we have an array list of integers, and I'm not showing you how I'm adding them. Let's say that these values are in there: 3, 11, 16, 27, 2, 0, and 14. Okay, so remember, these are indexed just like an array: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 7 elements in here. So if I just have values, and it capitalized itself, it shouldn't be capitalized, values.add, the add method by itself simply adds to the end of the array list. So now I have a 17 in index position 7. Values.add 322, so now it's going to add it in a specific spot. So it wants to add it in the 3rd spot, so everything else gets shifted down. So the new index position 3, I'm going to move this down to and I don't remember what was in there. I'll just make it 13. So now we have something that's now the new 3 is 22, and this gets renumbered. This is now 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so on and so forth. Okay, so adding something at a specific index position inserts it and shifts everything else over. Values.set 119. The set method replaces it, so the 11 now becomes a 19. Still has 9 elements in it. And values.remove, remember if you're removing something from an array and you're doing it repeatedly, you want to start at this end and move this way, because remove ends up moving everything else down. So if I'm going to remove the 4th one, this is now gone. So these now get renumbered 4, 5, 6, and 7. Remember that I cannot add, I can't say values.add in position 12 a number, because I can't add beyond the end of the array list. If I can't skip values and say I just want a bunch of empty values and then I want to put one in. It doesn't work that way. Anyway, hope this helps. Bye.